This is Jonathan Cahn. Welcome to my YouTube channel. When you look at what's happening in the world, it's easy to wonder what's going on, and are things out of control? Is this what the Bible foretold? Is the end near? What do I need to know about the future? Where's it all going? How can I be prepared? What is God's prophetic word for the hour and for me? On this channel, you're going to find prophetic updates, the mysteries of God, daily words for life, biblical revelation, prophetic teachings, and much more. I pray it's going to be a great blessing to you in the days ahead. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you're notified every time there's a new video that's posted. Leave a comment as to how God is blessing you. And don't forget to share these videos with friends who need to hear them. Thanks again, and God bless you.
The night has come. July 21st is not just a date, it is a divine appointment. It is the night that heaven presses the clock and a countdown begins that will echo into eternity. Everything begins to shift, not gradually, but suddenly. For there are moments in time when the veil between heaven and earth grows thin, and this night is one of them. A line is being drawn, a trumpet is being sounded, and those with ears to hear will feel it in their spirit. A weight, a whisper, a warning, and a calling all at once. There is a tipping point in every prophetic timeline. Throughout history, God has moved in patterns. He set the stars in their courses, the seasons in their orbits, and prophecy in its rhythm. But when the appointed hour comes, those patterns break open into manifestation. This night is such a moment. This is not an ordinary season. It is a prophetic crossroad. For years, the world has been accelerating towards something. The signs have increased. The shaking has intensified. But now the countdown begins. Not just toward judgment, but toward the revealing of destiny, the exposing of darkness, the unlocking of long-awaited promises. Heaven has been silent for a time, not absent, but waiting for the fullness of time. And now, like a scroll that was sealed for generations, July 21st begins to unroll what was hidden. For everything under heaven happens according to divine timing. Just as in the days of Daniel, the watchers are stirring. The alarm of heaven has been triggered. The courts of heaven are active. The countdown is not simply to mark days. It is a countdown to the fulfillment of warnings, promises, and decrees that were set before the foundations of the earth. On this night, altars will begin to shake. The hidden idols that men thought they could build in secret will begin to crack. This is the night when God exposes what has been cloaked in darkness. But with exposure comes opportunity. For while judgment is drawing near for systems of wickedness, a door is opening wide for the remnant. For those who have stayed in the hidden place, those who have not bowed to Baal, those who have wept in silence while the world laughed. This is their night. The countdown is not just to judgment, it is to redemption. A divine unveiling has begun. The tipping point has come. When the cup of iniquity overflows, heaven responds. July 21st will not be remembered as just another date in history. It will be remembered as the night when everything began to change. Governments will feel it. Nations will feel it. Families will feel it. Ministries will feel it. What was once delayed is now being released. What was once locked is now being opened. What was once hidden is now being shouted from the rooftops. The divine countdown is not a metaphor. It is a real spiritual activation. Just as in the days of Noah, people went about their business, unaware that the heavens were shifting above them. But Noah knew. The ones who walked with God always knew, and so it is again. This night is for the watchers, the dreamers, the intercessors, the ones who stayed awake while others slept. You were not foolish to believe. You were not naive to wait. God never forgets a tear sown in secret, a prayer lifted in silence, a sacrifice made in faith. This is the night He begins to answer. There is a shaking, but it is divine. There is a separating, but it is purposeful. For just as wheat must be separated from the chaff, this night begins the great unveiling. Many who were first will be last, and the last, the forgotten, the mocked, the faithful, they will rise. It will not come by power or by might, but by the Spirit of the living God. And when He moves, no man, no power, no nation can stop Him. This night is the breath before the storm, the whisper before the thunder, the stillness before the trumpet blast. Heaven's countdown has begun, and every tick of that divine clock is a warning to the proud and a comfort to the humble. Those who have relied on the strength of man will watch their foundations crumble. But those who have built upon the rock, those who have stayed rooted in truth while the winds of deception blew strong, they will endure. Not only endure, they will rise. They will walk through the doors that no man can shut. For July 21st does not only mark a shaking, it marks ascending. God is not just shaking systems, He is activating people. Prophets will begin to speak with fire again. Watchmen will begin to cry out louder. Shepherds will be separated from hirelings. There will be no room for lukewarmness in this next season. This night divides the past from the future. It is the hinge on which destinies will turn. You will remember where you were. You will remember what you felt. You will remember what God whispered to your heart, because from this moment forward, nothing will remain the same. In the natural, it may look like any other night, but in the spirit, angels are being dispatched. Scrolls are being handed out. Mantles are being passed. Chains are being broken. Assignments are being released. What was stagnant will now flow. What was dead will now live. What was sealed will now be opened. The countdown is not to bring fear, but holy urgency, because what you do now determines how you stand in what's coming. God is looking for those who will move when He moves, speak when He speaks, and stand when all else is falling. This night demands a response, not a casual nod, but a radical alignment, not business as usual, but surrender as never before. Heaven is calling for repentance, not shallow surface words, but deep soul-wrenching turning. The time for delay is over. The countdown has started, and with every passing moment, the window narrows. But to those who say yes, to those who humble themselves, to those who turn their hearts fully to God, this is not a night of dread. It is a night of destiny. For the remnant, this is your moment. This is the hour when your preparation meets your purpose, when your obscurity meets your assignment, when your trials become your testimony. You were born for this moment. You were preserved for this hour. And now heaven's countdown is calling you forward. You must move when the cloud moves. You must shout when the trumpet sounds. You must go when He says go. No more delay. No more excuses. No more fear. This night, the tipping point has come. The earth is groaning, creation is trembling, and heaven is thundering. And still the Spirit is whispering, "Come up higher. Come out from among them. Come into the place I've prepared." There is still time to respond, but not much. The countdown is real. The calendar has been marked. The angels have been stationed. The storm is gathering. But within that storm is glory. Within that shaking is awakening. Within that countdown is the breaking of chains and the rising of warriors. This is your warning and your invitation. July 21st begins the unraveling of what was and the revealing of what will be. You cannot sleep through this moment. You cannot stay silent. Heaven has spoken. The countdown has begun. And from this night forward, you will never be the same. This night is unlike any other. It is not just a turning of the clock or the passing of another calendar date. It is a moment sealed in eternity, now breaking into time. Something divine is unfolding, something heaven ordained. This is not a season of ordinary transition. It is a supernatural shift. A divine reset has been activated, and nothing will remain the same again. What was known will be shaken. What was built by the hands of man will face the weight of divine recalibration. For this is not a man-made change. It is the disruption of heaven, the collision of the eternal with the temporal. There are moments in history when God interrupts the flow of life, when He inserts Himself into the rhythm of the nations, of families, of destinies. This night is such a moment. For too long, the systems of the world have moved forward under the illusion of control. Leaders have planned, kings have ruled, institutions have expanded, and the people have followed, blind to the hour. But tonight, the hand of God is moving through the unseen realms. Heaven's decree has gone forth, and what was tolerated in one season will not pass into the next. The divine reset is not a soft correction. It is a holy interruption. It is the moment where heaven says, enough. Enough of the compromise. Enough of the delay. Enough of the blending of light and darkness. God is not simply tweaking the story. He is flipping the page. What was is no longer. What will be has begun. And just as a potter breaks down the clay to remake the vessel, so this night begins a breaking that will lead to reshaping, not to destroy, but to rebuild in righteousness. For many, this night will feel like a tearing. The things once relied upon will falter. The voices once trusted will fall silent. The doors once walked through easily will shut. But do not be afraid of the breaking, for it is the evidence that God is near. The shaking is not your end. It is your reset. The shaking is not rejection. It is realignment. The things being removed were never meant to remain. The people walking away were never meant to stay. The roles, the platforms, the patterns, they are all being brought back under the sovereignty of the Almighty. There is a holy silence falling in the spirit realm, a pause, a stillness that comes just before the divine hand moves with force. The divine reset is both mercy and judgment. It is mercy for those who have cried out in secret, who have waited in faith, who have endured in silence. It is judgment for systems of corruption, for empires of pride, for leaders who built towers in their own name while ignoring the call of heaven. God is pressing the reset button on individuals, families, churches, nations, and what survives this reset will be only what was rooted in Him. Those who have become too comfortable in cycles of religion, in patterns of control, in movements absent of His Spirit, they will find themselves exposed, not to humiliate, but to awaken. The exposure is coming because the time of play is over. There is no more time for pretending, no more grace for performance without purity. God is raising up a generation that will walk in fire, in truth, in boldness, and in holiness. This reset is for them, to clear the stage of false lights and make room for His glory to fall again. You will begin to feel it in your soul, a disconnect from what once inspired you, a discomfort in environments you once tolerated, a restlessness that cannot be quenched by the shallow things of the world. That is the divine reset taking hold. God is removing your appetite for the temporal so that He can stir hunger for the eternal. You will no longer be satisfied with noise. You will crave the voice of the Spirit. You will no longer settle for imitation. You will press into intimacy. The divine reset will also come to dreams. For too long, many have walked with dreams placed on the shelf, promises that felt distant, words from God that seemed delayed. But tonight, something is being reignited. Not the dreams birthed from ambition, but the visions seeded by heaven. God is breathing on them again. In the stillness of this night, many will weep as they feel the weight of destiny returning to them. The dreams they once buried under the ashes of disappointment will rise like fire in their bones. It is not over, it is just beginning. For when God resets, He restores. This divine reset is not gentle. It will cost you comfort. It will demand obedience. It will require surrender. But what it will birth is far greater than what it removes. The fire will purify. The pruning will refine. The silence will sanctify. And when the reset is complete, you will not recognize yourself. Not because you've lost something, but because you found the you that heaven intended, the identity that fear buried, the calling that delay covered, the authority that compromise diluted. It is all coming back, but it will come through fire. There will be voices that rise to distract, to dilute, to deny what God is doing, but do not listen. The Spirit will bear witness in your heart. The signs will be undeniable. The shift will be felt even by those who do not understand it. The atmosphere will change. What once opened easily will become resistant, and what once felt delayed will now be accelerated. God is flipping the spiritual map. He is rerouting paths. He is interrupting journeys. This is not disruption. It is destiny. You will begin to see people repositioned, leaders removed, others raised. You will witness divine substitutions. Those who were sidelined will be summoned to the front. Those who were celebrated for charisma will be replaced by those who carry consecration. It will not be about gifting, but purity. Not about visibility, but surrender. Not about crowds, but about covenant. For God is resetting the standards of leadership, of influence, of anointing. The hidden ones are rising, the false ones are fading, and the reset is separating the two. This night marks a new chapter for the remnant, for those who endured wilderness seasons, who embraced the crushing, who chose the narrow way. This is your moment. God has not forgotten you. The hidden years were preparation, not punishment. The obscurity was divine training. And now the trumpet is sounding. The divine reset has cleared the way for your emergence, but you must be ready to move. There is no room for hesitation, no space for delay. When the cloud moves, you must move. In this reset, assignments will be clarified, territories will be shifted, voices will be amplified, resources will be redirected. Everything will come into divine order. What seemed like chaos will prove to be construction. What looked like loss will become launch. The reset will cost everything, but in return, you will gain what truly matters. You will walk in purpose, in fire, in clarity. You will know who you are, where you belong, and what you were born for. The fog will lift, the noise will fade, and the whisper of God will grow loud again. Many will resist the reset, clinging to the familiar, refusing the call. But those who say yes, those who choose surrender, those who bow low, will be elevated in a way no man can manufacture. God is not exalting egos, He is enthroning servants. He is not interested in resumes, He is looking for those who tremble at His word. The divine reset will exalt the humble and bring low the proud. It will expose the foundations, and only those built on the rock will remain. This night is sacred, not because of any earthly ritual, but because of the divine decree it carries. The heavens are open, the Spirit is moving, the reset has begun. There is no turning back. Everything that can be shaken will be shaken, but what is of God will stand. So let go. Let go of what you thought it would look like. Let go of the timelines you created. Let go of the attachments that have kept you bound. Say yes to the reset. Say yes to the fire. Say yes to the process. Say yes to the new. From this night forward, you will see differently. You will walk differently. You will think differently. For the divine reset is not an event, it is a transformation. It is heaven taking the wheel of time and turning it in a new direction. And if you yield to it, you will be caught up in a current of glory, of purpose, of power that no man can stop. This is your moment. This is your reset. And nothing will remain the same again.